Hi everybody, welcome to Wild Earth this afternoon, and my name's Tara. Joining me on camera this afternoon is Daniel, and back in final control is Herman. And quite excited. I'd love to go and try and find the rhino with the baby again, see if she's settled down. She might not be in the area at all, but we had her this morning with the tiny baby rhino, probably about 3 or 4 months old, very, very cute. And we also had some elephants over on the other side as well, so I'd like to see if they've made their way up towards Buffalo's Hook Dam. But I have quite an epic story to tell everyone as we're driving down towards Twin Dams, and I'd like to have a look around down the south, maybe a little bit later on too. We also, for anybody who may have missed Drive this morning, we found Karula's tracks with the cub tracks, and they actually went past Gowrie Dam and right onto Central Road and right off into the east. So that's where I think she's going to start trying to hunt. I don't think she's been successful so far, and that might be why she's moved the cubs to a different area as well. So we're going to try off in the east and somewhere down in the south as well, unless we find some tracks, and that will keep us heading off into a different direction like it did this morning. So let's jump aboard. So there's not too much happening here at Chelapan, so it's all very, very quiet. Even the the greenbacked heron that's been around, I haven't seen it as we've been sat here for a couple of minutes. So I'm quite eager to climb aboard and get going. So let's do it. And Mark is still not feeling 100%. But if he's able to, he said he'll try and do tomorrow morning's drive for you. But he'll see how he goes. And if anybody would like to ask any questions as we're driving around the beautiful game reserve of Djuma here in South Africa this afternoon on our live safari, we'll be out for about 3 hours or so looking for what the African bush has to offer. And then please do send it through to questions at wildearthsafari.tv. So questions at wildearthsafari.tv. Elephant tracks heading down here too. So a couple of things that people have been questioning, and there were some gunshots heard yesterday, all afternoon yesterday, and so I'll try and find out what they were doing, and it was training for the guides. Now the guides have to reach a certain standard to be able to walk with their shooting, to protect the guests when they are out and about in the African bush. Because when that happens, there's nothing out there to protect you apart from your mind. If you don't have a vehicle you can just put in reverse or rev the engine, and that's usually enough to deter an animal that might be charging. But out in the bush you don't really have too much. So a rifle's carried for protection, and it's the last resort to use in the last incident. So the guides were practicing yesterday, and I think the wind just must have been in quite a good position to actually blow from where they were practicing, which was actually on the western side, quite far actually, blowing it right through to where we were. But you could hear them on the waterhole channel, that's where everyone was hearing them. And some also need to just practice and keep it up. We usually do shooting once a month, just to make sure that they keep what we call muscle memory. That's what a lot of it is about. So if you need to be able to protect your guests, you're not thinking about it. We need to come back and do Mamba Road. I think there may have been some elephants down here this morning. I did see some tracks up on Chelapan Road heading north, so that could be the same herd. And we've also, I went to the Rangers meeting today, so that's where I found out about that. There's also some burning going on, so you will see some smoke. You may see some smoke on the waterhole camera. Apparently they're doing some burning in the Manuletti for fire breaks. So we'll move this tree out the road. broke it off and didn't even bother eating it by the looks of it. Smoke from this morning, I think the Buffalo's Hook, just in the north, also burning some fire breaks. Now as we go into the winter, there's some more tracks going that way of elephants now. As we go into the winter, there is going to be a higher risk of fire with all this dry vegetation. And that's one of the reasons why they make the fire breaks. It's just a strip of land that's burnt or cut down, so it tries to reduce the area of fire it can run away in. Because even though it is needed in the environment, you don't want to have a runaway fire that burns any of the lodges and things like that. It can be quite dangerous. Here we are at Twin Dams. Also a little bit quiet. I did hear quite an epic story this morning, which I've really got to tell you. And it involves quite a lot of our favourite animals. So while we were watching the baby elephants and the baby rhino up in the north, there was a little drama playing out down in the south. Now unfortunately we wouldn't have been able to get to it anyway. It's quite interesting who showed up. Apparently someone reported, I think one of the owners reported, a warthog. I think his words were there was a pig screaming. So rangers responded to go and find out if it was a pig and why it was screaming. So they all went to, I think it was Little Gowrie this all played out on. When they got there, Mufufenyan was busy taking a female warthog. It was actually her that I think was the cries that were coming from. And he managed to kill her, I think, fairly soon after they arrived. So Mufufenyan, I think, started to eat a little bit when her cries must have alerted the hyenas that may have been close by. So 2 hyenas came running. Ooh, sorry. If we can get the bird hovering. No, don't go away, don't go away. Stay, please. This was the bird that we couldn't ID too well the other day. It is the black-shouldered kite, just to show that we actually did have it the other day. Nice, Daniel. This is about a year ago. We had the black-shouldered kite on drive. Just like the kestrels, expert in hovering, watching for any movement on the ground. They'll hit the ground with quite a thud, and often when they land on top of the animal, that's enough to kill it. You see, actually just using the wind. Actually flying into the wind. Amazing, eh? The black-shouldered kite. There it goes. Fantastic. So, back to the story. Bafuffinyan had 2 hyenas run in to try and take his kill, but he managed to get his kill up into the tree. Hyenas, I think, went to sit underneath the tree. And from what I understand, the hyenas, when they settled underneath the tree, where do I want to go? I think let's go this way. We'll go up Cheetah Line. Oops. Sorry, Daniel. I didn't realise that was a big ridge there. So, hyenas were suddenly chased away by 3 of the Styx females and one of the Majingi lions who came running in, and they chased the hyenas off. And instead of sitting at the base of the tree, one of the Styx females decides to climb the tree, and apparently Bafuffinyan is hitting her on the head. They're trying to stop this female lion from climbing the tree. Unfortunately, it didn't work, so he's on the extremities of the tree, thin branches, while this female is climbing the tree and actually eating the kill. Oh look, there's Ostrich! I'm not seeing things, am I? 3 ostrich! Look at that, everyone! Wow! So I should have got everyone to ID them. Go and see if we can have another look. Okay, we don't often see ostrich. This is probably the 3rd time I've known ostrich to be on the property. 3 females. No, don't go into the bush. The reason why we don't see ostrich very often is because they actually prefer, it looks like they're going to walk into this gap here, they actually prefer the open plains. Here, they don't really have a means to get away from predators very easily because they rely on speed. So in this type of habitat, they could be caught fairly easy. Largest bird on the planet. Tell you what, I didn't get you guys to ID them, but I'm pretty sure everyone would have ID'd it pretty quickly. So instead, if anybody wants to send through any interesting facts about the ostrich, then send it through to questions@wildersafari.tv. So, your favourite interesting fact about the ostrich now. I wonder if they're going to come out close to the road here. Let's quickly turn around and try that. So, favourite ostrich fact. And I will come back to the amazing story of Bafuffinyan and the Styx and one Majingilan. Good afternoon, stations. I've got 3 ostrich on Ledwood Road. Three ostrich. Ledwood Road. I'm losing the visual though. Oh, there's a little 2-track here. Let's try this. air brake. I'm just trying to relocate them now. This far along. Well, they're definitely in this bit, I'm sure. Hi Laurie, good afternoon to you. First coming back with their eyes larger than their brain. It's a sad fact, but it's very true. I once saw an ostrich trying to take a dust bath on a tiled floor. It was a wild ostrich, she came into the lodge and she was the most intelligent ostrich I've ever met. But nevertheless, she did try and take a dust bath on the tiled floor. Oh, I can hear parrots. Where on earth did these ostrich disappear to? That's crazy. Now you see them, now you don't. Okay, let's try it a bit further up the road then. Into this block, and there were male leopard tracks walking down Drakensberg Drive towards this area. Still a little bit of a distance, but still. But they do have to be extremely careful. Well, at least we had a quick glimpse of them. I'm hoping maybe they'll come back out. Station's lost visual of the three ostrich fambered into the block between Cheetah Cut Line and Leadwood Road. Good afternoon, go ahead. Sorry, you were breaking up quite badly, go again. Just before you got to the junction with Drakensberg Drive. Oh well. Keep your ostrich facts coming in though. I'll do another lap around, we might be looking to see them again. They might be on the way from one plain to another, like the cheetah do. And cheetah are one of the animals that do hunt them. Say in this habitat, lions and maybe even leopards might be able to hunt ostrich in this habitat. your ostrich question? Good to hear from you though. Ooh, zebra there. Oh, you sent it earlier. Okay, I'll let you off, Daz. You see the warthog through there as well. Yeah, good to hear from you, Daz. Been a while. Wanting to know how many staff I knew as well. I've been on for a few months. You might not have met Daniel yet. Daniel's on camera with me this afternoon. And Becky also going to be with us for another couple of months or so. But I think that's all the new crew. Warthog and the zebra. Unfortunately, the warthogs don't tend to stick around too much. So I'll finish off my story. And maybe those ostrich might just walk up behind us, being on the road. Quite possibly. Otherwise they might just cut through to cheetah cut line. So picture Mafuffanyan, big male leopard, on the smallest of branches in the tree, with his warthog kill being eaten by one of the stick's females, lionesses. And the stick's female is being battered on the head by Mafuffanyan. She climbs up, so she finally gets there, and she's eating the warthog. And apparently Safari, Karula's mother, also comes onto the scene, only to be chased up the tree. They're watching the warthog run away. The zebra. Safari comes in and she gets chased up the tree as well. And eventually the female lion decides that she's going to come down. But she doesn't do it too gracefully. She has to back down. And apparently the carcass nearly fell out the tree, and she managed to catch it just in time. But when she came down, she bumped her head on the tree as well. She said the guy said it wasn't very graceful at all. Quite an amazing sighting. So I thought everyone would enjoy hearing about that one, especially hearing that Safari is still alive and well. Mafuffanyan is up to his old tricks again, especially after seeing him with an injured leg. But apparently all the time it looked like he was almost falling out the tree, and one of the guides was saying that it was almost trying to keep his face as far from the lioness as possible, and he was probably just a couple of meters from her in the smaller branches. The zebra's not too impressed. There's three other zebra mixed in the bush. This particular zebra, oh, there's a fifth one. This particular zebra does live in family groups. They don't hold territories. They're nomadic. You'll have a stallion with 4, 5, maybe even 6 mares if he's lucky. Hi Val. And the reason why I called them ostrich on the radio is I'm actually not too sure what the Shangaan word is for ostrich. You don't really hear it being called in. Okay, let's do a drive around the block and see if we hit it lucky with the ostrich again. Apparently Sipiwe's in the office and she's not too sure either. Maybe someone can look it up for us. Find out for us. I can't believe they just disappeared like that. It was very odd. with another fact for the ostrich. And you are correct, Laurie. A number of females will lay their eggs in the same nest. And the male and the alpha female will actually incubate those eggs. So they actually don't listen to that saying, don't put all your eggs into one basket, because they actually do. So several females will lay up their eggs in the same nest, but the most dominant female will lay her eggs. Sorry? Oh, Batelea. Sorry, I'm here with my hat on. Nice, Batelea eagle. Oh, I've done it again. Okay, I'm just not going to talk this afternoon. I'm too excited. What I'm trying to do is any bird that we haven't ID'd so far, I'm going to let you guys ID it. But for the last 3 birds, I've kind of forgotten that. Sorry. And I think Lynn from Canada, if Lynn's watching, wanting to make a live bird list, any birds that we see live on Drive, I think that's a good idea, Lynn. Tell you what, you guys can tell us if it's male or female. So I'm still waiting for ostrich facts and whether this Batelea Hinja, who was that from? Hinja. Oh, Hinja with a Y. Hinja. Who was that from? Oh, from Sipiwe. Thanks, Sipiwe. Hinja. Hinja. Batelea. Very distinctive. There's not really any other eagles that look like a Batelea. The short tail as well. That beautiful red seal, the skin, red beak and red legs. Hinja, Alan, Laura and Luann also looked it up for us. Thank you. Hinja. I've got to try and remember that now. Hinja. Hinja. Okay. Oh, apparently I'm saying it wrong. Hinja. So Piwe's trying to tell me. Hinja. Hinja. So Piwe's trying to tell me how to say it properly. Hinja. Thanks everybody sending that through. Batelea also not very impressed. Beautiful. Not looking out for anything to eat, just organising feathers. Mike coming back with the sex of the bird. Mike saying male. Is Mike right? Does anybody disagree? Sorry, I'm only kidding. Thanks, Daz. And the Afrikaans for the ostrich, volstruis. Is that right? Volstruis. 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 Hinja. Hinja. What a beautiful, beautiful bird. Mike coming back with mail. Thanks, Mike. Good to hear you watching as well. Hi, Will. Good afternoon to you. Wondering if we get Cory bustards around here. And I think Seb's been lucky enough to see a Cory bustard on his way into work one morning. Oh, and Herman says he's also seen one here. So we can get them, but again, they prefer the open plains. So just like the ostrich, they're able to pass through, they're able to come through, but they won't necessarily stay for very long, sadly. Huge birds, one of the largest flying birds. Debate as to whether, I think it's the Eurasian bustard is slightly heavier than the Cory bustard. I think that one's slightly larger. You're going to stay put. Can you get him there? It's a bit awkward. Can't roll back any further. Say when? Keeps moving. There? He's got a different idea. Where'd he go? He's in there. As I move back, he moved forward. Being camera shy, that's not good. Nope, gone. Okay, I'm gonna try and find another one. So as I was saying with the ostrich, the alpha female lays her eggs in the centre of the nest, and the subordinate females will lay their eggs around the outside of the nest, and that's kind of anti-predation. So if there's any predators around, like monitor lizards or jackal, and they're able to get to the eggs, then they're more likely to eat the ones on the outside first. So the alpha female actually has her eggs protected. But the upside for the subordinate females, if that doesn't happen, then their eggs get reared by the most dominant female. So they get to have their chicks reared by the most dominant female and male. So that may help them to survive rather than being looked after by the subordinate females. The alpha female must be stronger than the subordinate females. So there you go. Okay, let's have a quick squiz down here and see if those ostriches came out this side. Oh, funny smell. they might pop out here because it's a little bit more open. This side anyway. Oh, sure. Hi, Alan. Wow. Difficult question. I'm not entirely sure. Percentage-wise, how many chicks survive through to adulthood? How many nests of chicks? I actually, honestly, have never looked that one up. Maybe someone could maybe try and check for us this afternoon. See if there is actually percentage rate. And sometimes you will see ostrich running around with many chicks, and sometimes you see ostrich with just a few chicks. I don't know if you were on drive the other day, Alan, but I found 2 honey badgers. The only problem is, it wasn't here. I was on leave and I saw 2 honey badgers and one actually stopped and looked. Ah, there is a rhino. 2 rhinos just through there. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the ear? Just if you zoom in basically there where you've got it. Let's see if we can actually go up and join them. Looks like there's 2 there. I'm going to see if we can actually go and join them. A little bit of a dip here, but it looks like they might come out this side. Hey, rhinos! Coming through here. As long as we don't pull an ostrich on us. Go and hide. I'm sure there was more than one though. Oh wow. A huge horn. Oh, I wonder if this is... They were talking about this male. Skew horn, I think they call him. Apparently he can be quite a troubled young soul, or old soul. Can become a little bit aggressive sometimes. But I wonder what the full story is behind it. Stations 1 and Combi on Gary, Maine, just north of the fire break. I want to see which direction he's going to go in, because it's fairly open out in front of us. So hopefully he's just going to move out in front of us. And if he is a little bit highly strung, then we don't want to actually go crashing in there. Hello, mister. Are you going to come say hello? He's actually got an oxpecker sitting right on the base of his second horn there. Any stations interested? There's one on Combi and Gary, Maine, just west of Cheetah Line, north of the fire break.
Sorry, what's that, Tara?
I think this is Skew Horn, the Madonna and Combi.
Copy, thank you.
Well, that's a bit antisocial. Hey, mister. Now this is a white rhino, and even though it's fairly thick bush here, just by the way he's holding his head down, that should help to indicate it's a white rhino. Got a large muscle at the back of the neck, or base of the neck, which counterbalance the huge head, and it's held in that position, the most convenient for feeding on the grass, whereas the black rhino tend to hold their heads up high, a smaller nuchal muscle at the base of the neck for feeding on the leaves and the branches. I'm going to see if we can get another view of him. And he seems to be a little bit antisocial. I don't want to come up too close to us, so we're going to respect that. Not get too close to him. So rhinos can be very placid, you just have to treat them with respect. And especially, they all have their own personalities. And if you're not too sure what the personality is, it's always best to err on the side of caution. At the end of the day, 2.5 ton animal charging at you is not going to make you look very pretty. There are some rhinos here that very relaxed and they'll let you get pretty close to them. And he's kind of moving that way, so I'm going to try and see if we can get an open spot again. Might be able to see him because it's getting quite thick through there. Oh, we're back at Leadwood Road. Still no sign of the ostrich. Oh, he's still there. It's alright. Stations, one combie's just crossed over Leadwoods, favouring west towards Twin Dams. Just want to go a little bit further up here, just in case the ostrich have popped out again. Otherwise, we shall carry on our drive. Maybe go around towards Twin Dams, maybe see if by the time that we go around, the rhino might just pop out again. It's quite thick in there, it's quite fun in there, but by the time we get to where he was, he'll be even further on. And if he is a little bit skittish, then it'll just push him on much further ahead of us. We'll drive a little bit just to see if they haven't popped out this side. Stations, the Womadorda and combis favouring west of Leadwood Road. Looks like he's heading towards Twin Dams. Nope. Maybe they heard me say leopard and they ran for it. Hi Stacey, good to hear from you. Welcome on board the Gunda. Wondering if we get owls here. I'm hoping that we will see some owls. I'm hoping we'll see some owls. There was actually an owl around, where was it? Were you with me, Daniel? No, I think it was Becky. Last night, just we were on the way back to camp, we saw an owl fly off from the road. But we do get owls here. We get the Verreaux's eagle owl, we get the spotted eagle owl, we get the pearl spotted owlet, the barred owlet. Why do I feel like I'm missing one? Scops. bird feeding party. I don't know, are you going to be able to get one of the little birds sitting in the tree? Might be just a little bit quick. Oh. Nope, that was something else. There he is.
There's one here.
Yeah. There's our rattling sister Cola. But there's another one. Oh, the one up in the tree. That's the rattling sister Cola. Are you able to get that one up in the tree in front of us? Bobbing around. That was a very difficult one to get. But, yes, there. If anyone can ID that one. Kind of carrying on from the other day. I'm going to do birds that we haven't ID'd before. But if anyone is able to ID that one. So that was our rattling sister Cola. And you can hear the calls now. That little brown one. So we did ID that one the other day, but there is a little one that is jumping around, and hopefully it's going to come. And just to finish off with Stacey's question, my favourite bird. Did you see the mongoose? There's a mongoose just in front of us. It's just in the grass there. Can you see the grass moving? He's going to come out there. He's going to come out over there somewhere. Slender-tailed mongoose, or slender mongoose. There he is. Yeah, he's underneath that patch of grass. There. Came strolling up the road. Wow, he's not shy. There, you had him. He's just at the back here. Yeah. No, stop. Can you see him? I think he went into this stuff here just right next to us. Hmm? You see him? Oh, there he is. Wow. I can't believe how close he came. That's amazing. That's got to be one of the most relaxed slender mongoose I've ever seen. I literally just looked down and he literally was just strolling along the road and went in here, and he was literally just in the bushes, sort of milling around here, in the bushes here, and then popped out the other side. That was amazing. Sure. No, it doesn't look much, but even though it's a mongoose, it's incredible. And we don't see that type of mongoose very often. And even fewer times you'll actually have a mongoose like that coming up like that. I think most of the time we see a slender mongoose, it's there goes the tail. We've had one just sleeping on the damn wall, and it was fairly relaxed, but never having one up this close before. Wow. Slender mongoose. Very different to the dwarf mongoose. Solitary. Absolutely amazing. So we had a nice view of the rattling Sisticola. Waiting for ID of a tiny little bird that started coming into shot. And my favourite bird for Stacy. Oh, baboons walk this way. My favourite bird would be one of them. I've got a couple. The four-tailed drongo, because they're just so cheeky. And they've got a lot of character. And the white-fronted bee-eater, also one of my favourites. We don't see them here. We see the little bee-eater, we see the carmine bee-eater, and we see the Eurasian bee-eater. We don't really see the white-fronted bee-eater, and I love the call. It's a very, very sweet little call. It's like a reep, 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 reep. You see the little hippo in there? Hippo's found itself a nice little hideaway pool. Hi Nancy, good to hear from you. Apparently you're in Europe at the moment, but a couple of weeks and you'll be back in South Africa. I'm just listening to what's being talked about on the radio. I'm just talking about the tracks that we had this morning. Otherwise, not too much else going on. But Nancy, the blue skies, I don't know where they are. Actually, it looks a little bit more blue sky now. The winter sky is coming back. For some reason, we've had a lot of cloud the last couple of days, and it has been extremely cold. I've not got warm all day. So definitely pack very, very warm things, Nancy. I'm just looking at the hippo. It looks like he's got a couple of scratches on his back. Maybe it's he's been in a fight there.
It's young.
Hi, Binky. Binky with a B. For Brava, apparently. Give a check on that one. It does look a little bit small, that one. Maybe got in the way of... There's the rhino. Maybe got in the way of one of the mothers trying to be mated by a big male, which actually can happen, unfortunately. Other hippos here. Missed them on the way through. Maybe we even got too close to a mother with baby hippo. Let's see if we can go around the other side before the rhino walks off into the bush. Binky wanting to know the size of the baby hippo and baby rhino when they're first born. Are they roughly about the same size? And they are. They're roughly around 40 kilos in weight. Hippo maybe just a slight little bit smaller. Roughly around that sort of weight. Hello, Mr. Skewwall. I'm just going to see if we can see him nicely from here. Rotated by the oxpeckers there by the looks of it. It's funny, the Swahili for the red-billed oxpeckers, Askari, I forget the last part of it, but it basically means rhino guard. And it really does look like they have their own personal guards. Very nice too. You can see he's not really wanting company. Just gonna see if we can have a quick look at the hippos before we head off. Go around the bush. Oh, there's the rhino again. As he departs. From this side, we've got a bit of sunlight on those hippos. We are a little bit away from the water there. And if anybody would like to watch some hippos a little bit longer, then there is the Waterhole channel. So if there's any hippos there, I'm sure the Waterhole channel will be watching for a little while. Doing what hippos do best. During the day at least, anyway. So difficult to say what the relationship is to the other one that's on the other side of the wall in the little pond. It could be maybe one of those hippos that gave him some wounds. It could even be maybe a lion attacked it. Occasionally we'll hear of lions attacking them, although when there's plenty of food available, there's not really any reason for lions to attack hippos. But a hippo that size is not fully grown. Maybe something happened there. But generally when they get it looks like just flesh wounds. So they should heal pretty quickly. Especially when hippos have been fighting, you'll see a lot of wounds on the side. Huge incisors and huge canines. Good afternoon, ladies. Gent. Are you posing? Still looking in really good condition. There's a couple of males there though. Sign of the breeding season being over, or being tolerated again. Quite a special little fact about the impala: their teeth in the bottom of their jaw are slightly loose, by about 2 millimeters. It's very, very slight, but it's enough to be able to spread apart. So their teeth almost act like a comb, and you'll find them grooming each other. Males with males, females, young, old, it doesn't matter. And those teeth will actually help to get out more dead fur, more parasites, ticks. And that's why they always look in really good condition, whether it's winter or summer, doesn't matter. Okay, let's head on to Central and Vulture's Nest Road and head towards that area where we lost the tracks with the ruler this morning. Apparently the elephants might still be around there. Some elephants again. Maybe I should actually explain as to why Mike was right with the batelier. If anybody was wondering how to tell a male and female batelier apart, you look on the wing. You see a white stripe on the wing, it's female. No stripe, it's a male. Even in flight, if you see half white, half black, then it's male. You see 3/4 white and a strip of black, it's female. I'm wondering if anyone's been able to ID our tiny little bird. But for Binky, the size of a baby hippo is probably, a newborn baby hippo is probably about this big. About that long, maybe, something like that. Baby rhino maybe about that long. I was just saying to Daniel, I remember seeing a baby rhino, like a baby rhino. It's in a couple of weeks old, maybe a month old, and it's literally, it's all ear and all feet, and there's very little else in between. It's brilliant. Walter from Germany. Well done, Walter, coming back with the right answer for the little bird. I'm impressed. The Crombeck.
Sorry, why did you copy that?
Ah!
Yeah, copy, thank you. Leaving PC card now.
Ostrich have made it to the junction where we're driving to. Pinja! See if we can go and see the ostrich again. Ephraim, do you mind if we join you?
Yeah, put it.
Thank you. Hopefully they're going to stick around. Ephraim's just bumped into the 3 ostrich. Standing by?
Yeah, what's your location?
Battalion?
Okay, copy. Yeah, just come. Don't make drive. Just come north.
Copy, will do.
Yeah, because I don't think those take those when we look at the photo, how much I paid, I don't think how much
Okay, copy. Did you look at the consoles from this morning, or were they fresh from this afternoon?
I put a one from this morning.
Copy, yeah. It looked like they found it north, just before the junction with Drakensberg.
Okay, copy. And your last one to see with my people, where the last one to see the sponsor.
It looked like it was also that the Mapimpans were with Kabula right up until that point. Everyone keeps thinking we've found Ingwe. Leopard. Montreal. Good afternoon to you. If it's in Montreal, is it good morning to you? I just want to know how many eggs on average does an ostrich lay? I'm going to have to think about that one. I think if I remember rightly, we put that in there because of the erosion? I suppose so. I think if I remember rightly, I'll have to double check, it's probably around 10 or so. Maybe up into its teens. I think the average is probably around 10. I wonder if anybody's tried to have a look to see if there's a statistic about the amount of chicks that make it through to adulthood. For Alan. courtship of an ostrich, it is very, very interesting. Quite funny as well. The male will actually sit down on the ground with his head stretched out and he'll wave his feathers around like this. Very, very funny. And if the females are interested, then she'll allow him to mate, but they'll pretend they're actually not interested. It's brilliant. They go in here. You see them? Hello, hello. Yeah, that side. Junction, Central and Drakensberg. Yeah. That side. Oh, that side. Okay. No worries. Yeah, we saw them a bit further down, so they've covered quite a distance already. Cool. Thanks, Ephraim. See you in a bit. We're also going to go that side. Oh yes, I see them there. Okay, I'm just going to see if we can actually get to the ostrich, who may have... I'm going to try and see if we can see the ostrich for the people that may have missed them at the beginning of the drive. Oh, hello, there's a hole there. Ryan, come in. Where did they go? Please don't tell me they've gone again.
Did you
see them? Did you see where they went? I saw them moving. I copied, I'm just trying to relocate. They've gone into the Schlatine again. Oh, I've got them. Okay, looks like they're fambering towards Cheetah Cut Line. Affirmative. Confirm, was Ryan also interested?
I just hear him saying if we are interested, there is a call, so I'm not sure. I will just check him again.
Copy, thanks.
I got it. Very good. Is an end over?
And I just think there was earlier there was a question about what we don't see very often. I think was that also from Stacey. And ostrich is one of those we don't see very often on drive. Quite special to see. Oh, is it John? John, sorry John. Animals rarest to see on safari. John Phillips. Sorry John. It's ostrich, wild dog, and a lot of the nocturnal animals like the honey badgers. Aardvarks I think we've seen. lot of the smaller animals. Cheetah, I think we see more often than wild dog, but still not often. Always a thrill to see them. At the moment I'm just trying to see if we can just keep up with the ostrich. We try and get them in an open area again where we might be able to see them. We try and point the camera in the right direction every so often. Nancy's daughter. Sorry, didn't quite catch your name. Nancy's daughter. Helena. Hi, Helena. Wondering, are we going to see the cubs this afternoon? I don't know, Helena. They have moved from the spot that they were, hence why we take every opportunity if we know where they are to try and go and see them. They couldn't move at any point. And we did have tracks, which I was just discussing with Ephraim just now, around Drakensberg Drive Central Road, and they went into the block there. So we weren't able to find them this morning, but I'm hoping as the sun goes down, maybe Khalid will move around, and maybe we'll have somebody see her. Quite a few stations around there, so we can try and have a look at the ostrich. It's a bird we don't often get a chance to see here on Wild Earth. And keep your ostrich facts coming through. Send them through to questions@wildearthsafari.tv if you know any facts about ostrich. Interesting facts about ostrich. I think they are milling around there. I'm just going to try and pull forward a little bit. So we don't see ostrich very often, hence why I'm going off road for them. There's a special sighting here. Where's that cheetah line now? Just squeeze past this tree. There we go. And just coming back with the amount of eggs. Yeah, around 10 is the average. So we're 8 to 14 for the alpha female, and up to 4 females can lay anywhere between 15 and 40 eggs in the nest. Stations, these 3, I've forgotten the word, the 3 ostrich are on cheetah cut line now. Hinja. Sorry, 3 Hinja are on cheetah cut line now. Takes me a while to actually learn the names. Oh, hi Stacey, all the way over there in Australia. Good morning to you. Wondering, you have the emu, wondering which is bigger. The ostrich is larger than the emu, although also a rat-eyed, which means a flightless bird. And you also have the cassowary, which is the third largest bird in the world. The emu is the second, the ostrich is the first. Cassowaries have that crest on top of the head, a bit like the helmeted guinea fowl. And reportedly incredibly dangerous.
Ostriches.
Cassowaries. And with the flightless birds, they do have the feathers I'm sure everyone's familiar with. An ostrich feather, and it doesn't connect like the feathers of other birds. It's very flimsy. That's one of the reasons why they can't fly. The feathers just wouldn't be able to hold them. They'll need huge wings to help get them off the ground. And they don't have the keel bone, which is the bone that they need to have flight muscles attached to. At stations, these 3 Hindra have fambered east into Torchwood. Oh, look at the sun. Oh, wow. That's as much as we're going to be able to see of the ostrich. Unfortunately, they've crossed over into other property, but look at the sun there. Beautiful. But one thing that's quite interesting about emu feathers, I wonder if you know, Stacey, what the difference is with the emu feather to other bird feathers. There's a very special thing about them. Let's see if anybody else knows about it. The 4th largest bird in the world is found in South America, and that's the common rhea. Slightly smaller than the cassowary. Henry, come in. I don't know if you copied, but I've just lost visual over Torchwood for these 3 Hindra.
Okay, I'm right here by Central Junction, Line, where exactly they went.
If you can see me, they went in there.
Okay, copy, thanks.
Also quite an interesting thing about the emu, they've got these blue-green eggs. Ostrich eggs are this creamy white colour. I think the rheas are as well. I'm not too sure about the cassowary. I'll give you guys a few minutes to ponder about the feather of an emu. I've actually got one back home. It's a shame I don't have it out here. I can show you. It's also very flimsy. This way. And if anybody does have any more interesting facts about the ostrich, as well. I think another fact about the egg size of an ostrich, 24 chicken eggs could fit inside an ostrich egg. This is where we lost the tracks this morning. Who's that? There's a vulture there. Sitting right on the top of the tree. Trying to keep warm, you can see he's tucked his neck in. Sorry. Wow. And who was that from, sorry? Keith. Hi Keith, over there in the UK. I'm going to be going home there soon. In August. I hope it's going to be nice and warm there. Thanks for looking that up, Keith. Interesting. Apparently in Nigeria, I've been able to find that the chick mortality rate is extremely high. And the survival rate is about 5%, maybe one from every nest survives. So if 40 eggs are laid, so 10 by each female, that's really not a high percentage at all. One chick in 40 surviving. Thanks, Keith. King Alan. Good afternoon to you. And I did look up the spraying of the cats, and I can't find anything different. Alan was asking a little while ago about the difference in spraying to the urine of cats, and I've been looking, but I can't find anything. The only thing that was suggested was maybe fatty acids or fats are added to the urine when it's sprayed, but other than that I think it's just basically urine. Look at this sun. I'm going to try and get into an open spot again, but Alan wanting to know today, look at this, what the most unusual mating ritual is. It's the most brilliant, and I think there's some pretty incredible ones out there. Look at that though. Can you see it through the trees? Yeah. Wow. Now let me just roll forward just a little bit. Thanks, Destiny. Destiny coming back with her ostrich fact. They lay huge eggs. Yes, they do. And a quick one from Laurie. The kick from an ostrich can kill a man. That's very true. They've got a huge claw that can disembowel a person. You don't want to get kicked by one of those guys. And I think as the sun is setting, and we're talking about mating rituals, I think the dancing birds is probably one of the most amazing. And you've got the grebes that will almost dance on water, the cranes, but one of the ones I'd love to watch are the manakins. Now there's a species, I think it's called the shovel-tailed or the shaft-tailed, something like that. But it's one of the manakins. And 2 males have to dance to impress the female. Let me see if I can move off the road. I'm gonna have to move off the road. Okay. Whoa, hold on. I know, but it's a beautiful sunset.
Don't be jealous.
Okay. I'm gonna just quickly. Station within blob. Is it okay if we approach?
Okay, more than welcome to Nara. Come down Gallagher before you get to the river base there.
Cap, thank you. Is that still on Central?
Central.
So apparently there's some elephants just down here apparently. So the mannequins, the dominant male will actually take on an apprentice, and the female will only accept him to mate with if he has an apprentice that can actually dance, and both of them have to dance perfectly before she'll actually accept him as a mate. And I think that for me is quite an incredible one. The apprentice won't get the mating. There's an elephant just in here. There's possibly a couple more up ahead as well. I'll move on just now. But the mannequin, the assistant, will later get the platform or the stage once the older male dies. The stage is also hard to come by, so that's what he gets out of it. There must be a little dip or something. That's where the elephants just went into. So let's see if we can just get in here. just as as we're losing the light, just spend a little bit of time with the elephants here. Hi Sally, good afternoon to you. Still on the ostrich theme at the moment, and Sally wanting to know what ostriches eat, and they pretty much trying to eat anything they can get their beak into, but it's generally seeds and grasses and things like that, but they love shiny things. And unfortunately, if you do have some wild ostrich that become used to humans and they walk around camp, they will eat things. They're a bit like a magpie. They will eat things that are shiny. They'll also eat stones to aid in the digestion. Elephant getting its leg caught in the tree there. And that's possibly one of the reasons why they will eat hard, shiny things, to try and help with the digestion. And Sarah, good afternoon to you Sarah, wanting to know how ostriches lay their eggs. As far as I know, I think they do sit down. Two little ones there, look. Shame. It's a little bit too far out of reach. Might be able to see them on that side now. Oh, here comes another one. I think she's going to walk into this gap here. Hi, Wendy. Wendy in Canada. Ostrich fact, a group of ostriches are called a herd, and generally about 12 in number. Thanks, Wendy. Let's see if I can pull around and we might be able to see them again on the other side. Still have a little bit of light to see them. nice big mud wallow there. I'll have to remember that one. Thinking... Oh, there's another one. Hi, Janky. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. There's a little baby. Great to hear you're enjoying the safaris. Wondering what's the most exotic animal I've ever seen. And I suppose exotic really does depend on where you live in the world. Because I'm sure elephants will be exotic to many people that don't live in Africa, or even a lion. But I think, for me, one of the best animals... Sure. One of the best animals I saw very, very briefly was the sun bear over in Indonesia. That's probably the most exotic wild animal that I've seen. So I'm not including those here in Africa. But the most exotic animal, I would say, for me, is an echidna. How you doing? Good, thanks. And I'd still love to see a platypus. I think those are the two very exotic animals. I think just because Australia is just so far from the UK and so far removed in that sense. But the echidna, that's always been one of the animals I'd love to see. That and the Tasmanian devil too. And I was very lucky to see them when I went to Australia last year. Although it was at the zoo. But I think you have to be extremely lucky to see them out in the wild. The echidna, if anybody doesn't know, is actually a bit like a porcupine or a hedgehog. It's got spines just like them, and these elephants are going into very thick bush. So let's leave them to it. I was hoping they were going to come out here. They've gone in there. It's starting to get a little bit dark. But they are a monotreme. They lay eggs. They're one of the few mammals that are actually an egg layer. Them and the platypus. I've still yet to see a platypus. And I was very shocked. Actually, I'm going to go this way. I was very shocked at how small the Tasmanian devil is. I remember seeing a picture, but I still thought the Tasmanian devil was going to be larger. It's very, very small. Also a pouched mammal. There's still a lot of animals I'd love to see, especially out in the wild. Our list keeps growing. You see, now I remember another thing. It's a cladded leopard from Indonesia. Also a stunning, stunning animal. And it's been recently decided that there's 2 subspecies instead of 1. Coming back with the answer to my emu question. The emu feather actually splits into 2 from the one shaft. Makes it very unique amongst birds. As far as I know, that's the only bird that does that. Think about a bird feather. You have the one shaft, just goes straight up, whether it's a flight feather or a body feather. But in the emu, you have the one shaft and it splits into two. Very unique. Well done, Destiny. PJR. Good afternoon to you. Ostrich facts. Ostriches can run 55 miles per hour, which is what, about 70, 80 kilometers. 70 kilometers an hour. So that's the speed. Height of a male, 8 feet tall, and weighs between 140 and 300 pounds. I'm useless with weights and heights, so I can't do my conversions. Back with one ostrich egg will serve 4 people. I was saying earlier, 24 chicken eggs could be found, or could make up one ostrich egg. Incredibly rich. Never tried one, but they are incredibly rich. Very strong as well. Wondering when that was going to come through. Stacy! Thanks, Stacy. Ostrich have 2 toes. The bones are fused. So they have the 2 toes. The rest of the other birds have 3 or 4 toes. And that is actually very efficient for running. And that's one of the reasons why they can get up to those top speeds. And that claw actually helps to give them grip. A bit like the cheetah claws when they stay out. For running, it gives them extra grip for running. Same with the ostrich, that claw helps to give them extra grip for running. Raisa. Sorry you missed the bird. Just in case anybody else missed the bird earlier, it was correctly ID'd as a crombeck. It was a little crombeck. Orange breast, blue feathers on the back. It was the crombeck. To get a little bit dark now, but not dark enough that the spotlight's going to make any difference at the moment. At stations Lefley and Glove, still clambering east. North from Drakensberg Drive, Central Road Junction. Hi Carrie, and not a problem Carrie. lot of people drop in and out of the drives, and I'm sure a lot of people also appreciate the update. But we've got nightjar in the road. A nightjar that we might be able to see the colours of. Carrie wanting to know about Karula. And did she pick up the cubs? And we did find tracks of Karula and the cubs on Central. They'd actually walked down Voidtail access onto Gary Dam, and then they headed off down towards Central Road, and she actually brought them over this side. And that does look like a fiery-necked nightjar. You can see that ring of red. Hi Darcy, and very poignant question now. As we're losing the light, what animals are we likely to see? Switch the lights off and hopefully the nightjar may just move out the road. Now they actually sit in the road because it's nice and open, so they can actually catch insects quite easily. That's basically what it's doing. And they open the mouths. They're actually one of the widest gapes of the birds, and they actually have little bristles inside the mouth to try and help guide any insects into the mouth. Amazing little birds. No, don't go and sit on the road. This is the only problem with the nightjars. They'll fly up and then they'll go and sit further on in the road. But I'm hoping, with Alan watching, I'm hoping we might see a honey badger. That'd be awesome. Apparently there's been a couple of honey badgers seen a couple of nights ago as well. So they have been active. Porcupine, we may be lucky to see porcupine. Genet, civets. Look a bit like small cats. Aardvar, may be lucky. Lion and leopard tend to get more active this time of day. And Graham Cooks. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Yeah, good. I wasn't actually expecting you to stand in the road. Talking about nocturnal animals, and there you are.
Oh no. No damn leopard tracks. There's some old lion tracks at the dam.
Is there? I didn't see them this morning. No. Ach well. So nothing from Korea and the Cubs.
Where did she go? In here somewhere?
No, Central and Drakensberg.
So down here?
She actually went into the bush here. So it literally was just at before that junction.
Yeah.
They went north. It looked like they went north. There was two sets of tracks. It looked like one of the cubs. It looked like she'd obviously gone off. Cub was on the other side and went, "Oh, Mum's going that way." Went that way. So.
You didn't see the baboons?
No, we've been this side all afternoon. So, but I did see tracks. They went south.
Yeah, I saw tracks at Tundan.
Yeah.
Anyway. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll see you at the leopard.
Hopefully. See you later. Oh, if you see a honey badger, please let me know. No problem. Go saying there's 10 over there. Uh-huh. Hi Elaine. And you're right, it is cold here. To be honest, I actually haven't... Yeah, even though Graham's wearing shorts, that makes me feel... yeah. Well, everyone knows that I really can't handle the cold, so... Graham's wearing shorts and it's like just a jersey and his coat. And I'm just about warm now. I must admit I found it very cold today. But temperature-wise, I'm actually not sure. I'm very useless when it comes to... Look, there's our heron! And there's our heron pretending to be a swan. It's been a while since we've seen him do that. Any new viewers, this is really unusual behaviour. And I think this must be the only time or only individual that we've seen doing this. I've never seen more than one doing this. Look at that, if you can see it. I'm just thinking if it's going to be too dark, I don't know. We need to go a bit further left. A little bit more further left. There we go.
I can't see.
There we go. Heron thinking it is a swan. Grey heron. I've never seen herons wade out as far as this before. We saw this last year. So I think it probably is the same individual. But it seems to work for him. It seems to do quite well. Oh yes, and standing on the backs of hippos.
I should call him Jesus.
They definitely have a sense of humour. Because generally, herons will wait in the shallows for fish to swim by, but this one seems to like his frogs, and he will go and eat platanas from the surface of the water. And as I say, I think he's been taking a leaf out of the hammercop's book, because the hammercop will also sit on the back of the hippo and use it as a platform to catch frogs from. And I think that's what this heron maybe has seen happening and maybe decided, oh, that looks like fun. Or that looks like I'm going to get an easy meal. And decided to do that as well. As I say, unusual behaviour, to say the least. Oh, and there's a bat. Okay, where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? I think maybe we should try Treehouse Down. I know I keep trying there, but that's where we last saw aardvark tracks. That's where we last saw porcupine tracks. Temperature-wise, I think at the moment it's probably about 10, something like that this afternoon. And good afternoon to you, Alexei. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. All the way from Kazakhstan. We've really got a mixed vehicle this evening. It's great to hear. I'm wanting to know when rhinos have their offspring. And it's a shame you weren't on board this morning, Alexei, because we actually had a baby rhino. I was hoping we might bump into her this afternoon, but it looks like she might just be in the thick parts of the bush. With the temperature dropping, I think she's going to try and keep that baby nice and warm in the thick bush. The baby's about 3 to 4 months old. It is adorable. It's probably about that big, standing about that high. Very, very cute. All leg, all feet. But rhinos don't have a set time that they give birth. They can breed all year round. Quite a long gestation of 16 months. Black rhino about 14 months. I can smell the smoke from the Manuletti, that's in the north. 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. I think that's about the temperature. It's actually feeling slightly warmer now than it did during the day. And Nancy, the blue skies are back, look! Very little cloud in the sky now, so hopefully we're going to have those beautiful blue winter skies. And hopefully they're going to be around in time for when you come back. And I can see there's a lot of smoke here. And I know Buffelshoek were also burning fire breaks, and that's possibly what all this smoke is from. This time, I think, but Alan's saying he's been to Africa a few times and always been told don't go walking in the bush. So why was Graham walking in the bush and without a rifle? His vehicle was actually parked just around the corner that you couldn't see. As you see, me and Mark sort of walking around and checking. That's what Graham was doing, just checking. As it gets dark, then you stop doing that. It's never a good thing to start walking in the bush at night. But certainly, as a visitor to places, it's not a good idea to walk by yourself, especially in a Big 5 area. That's when you'll usually be told don't walk by yourself. And as guides, I've walked in the bush without a rifle as long as I don't have guests. So the rifle is there basically to protect guests. Times when we've gone walking and not taken a rifle. And I think in Botswana they have different laws, and I don't think that in Botswana they actually take rifles regardless of whether they have guests or not. Quite interesting difference in the way that two countries are run in that regard. No one's to say whether anyone's right or wrong. It's just what's the norm for each country. But in South Africa, we don't go walking guests without a rifle in the Big 5 area. Big 5, it can, whether you've only got 1 or 5 out of 5, you usually walk with a rifle. Hi Scott from the USA. Now, we might open a whole can of worms with my answer here. Going out of the slightly bad signal area there. But hi Scott, welcome on board this evening. I say I could open a whole can of worms with my answer here. But the Gunda is only the name that we've given the vehicle. It's not a type of Land Rover, and I'm going to leave it there. Reason being, I'm a Toyota girl, and I know that's going to just really start things off. And I should support Land Rover, being from Britain. But there was always a joke on my reserve that wherever the Land Rover went, if the Land Rover could get through, then the Toyota could definitely get through. There were areas where the Land Rover got stuck and the Toyota used to get through. And funnily enough, in other reserves, it's the other way around. I think it just depends. But we used to use a lot of Toyotas. But the Gunda is Shangaan for tractor, because it does actually sound like a tractor. Why are you running? Little Dacre just ran around the corner. Dwarf antelope. I wonder why it was running and what it was running from, if it was running from something. Down into the giraffe dip. Getting wrapped up in my wires here, not good. Good evening to you, Kev. And wonder if it's Kev. Seems you're asking about the jackal. I think it's Kev who's mad keen on jackal. profile picture of a jackal too. And unfortunately, Kev, I'd love to show you a jackal. Maybe, just maybe, we might be lucky. Have had jackal here. It's another one of those animals that we don't often see. Side stripe we've seen more than black bat. Saying with it being the breeding season, do we have any dens with pups in that we know of? Not to my knowledge. They probably are around. But sadly we don't hear them calling. It's a wonderful call, I'm sure you know. Another great call of the African bush. I think if you can get lion, hyena and jackal all calling together, wow, it is phenomenal. I'll see if I can try and do an impression of it for you. How's the battery? So the call, here goes nothing. Oh, okay, we're going to change the battery quickly and then I'll do the call for you. Are we back yet? Awesome. I'll just quickly show you, since we're asking about nocturnal animals. I mentioned a civet, and not a lot of people know what a civet looks like, so if I can actually try and find it for you and quickly show you. Oh, honey badger. Anybody wants to see a honey badger? The top of the picture. That is what the honey badger or rattle looks like. Oh. And the striped weasel at the bottom of the picture, which I've never seen. I'd love to see one of those. And don't go away. So I'm going to quickly show you. Ah, there we go. This is what the civet looks like. So, civet with the black and white stripes, that black mask. It looks a little bit like a raccoon. Beautiful looking animal. A lot larger than the genet. And then, what was the last one? Aardvark. I need an aardvark. Some people have never seen an aardvark. $178. Just for those who may not have seen an aardvark or even heard of it before. Fantastic little creature. There you go, that's an aardvark. Otherwise known as an ant bear. Huge nose, big ears, huge claws. Quite a big animal actually. So that is... Oh, there you go, there's the size. So let's hope. It'd be great to see one of them on drive. And I say, even a jackal would be awesome to see. Side striped here I've seen probably twice, 3 times. And I think we've seen them probably a few more times than that. Black-backed jackal a couple of times. Usually pitch up when the lions have made a big kill around here. We kind of go, ah, ah, How's your jackal impression? Probably not the most, not the closest, but it's the best I can do. Just sounds like a baby crying. Oh, Diana. Diana. Good evening to you, good morning to you over there in the USA. Do we ever have giraffes on drive? You've watched a number of times now and never see giraffe. And it must be on the drives that you don't watch, because we have seen giraffe. Had a male the other day. In fact, actually, I think someone else said they haven't seen giraffe on drive, so they're not as numerous at the moment. I think they're keeping to the thicker parts of the bush where it's warmer. But we should start to see giraffes more and more as the bush thins out again. But we do have giraffes here. Got a couple of youngsters, a few mothers, but they highly nomadic as well, so they don't stay put in one place like some of the other animals do. Have had that big bull on a couple of drives. I think I actually started drive with one the other day. And even last night, I think we had a giraffe on drive last night, briefly. Let's see if we can find one for you. Oh, little shrew. Ran across the road. I haven't seen any tracks of giraffes this afternoon. Anybody following us on the map? We're on Vulture's Nest Road. Hello, Impala. Mitzi! Let me get my book for you. I couldn't show you the Dacre, it ran off too quickly. And also, I'm not going to show you the Impala now because they are a diurnal animal. So we don't want to blind them. But I can show you a picture of a Dacre. Can call it a Dacre in English, Dacre in Afrikaans. I'll show you the grey Dacre. And the spelling is D-U-I-K-E-R. D-U-I-K-E-R. The one that we get most often here is the grey, or the common. And this is the Dacre. Male has horns, females don't. The top two pictures there. Left and right. Female in the top right, male in the top left. And that's what was with the baboons this morning. Oh, no, not the deer. So that is the Dacre, common Dacre. Dwarf antelope. In fact, it's probably about the same size as the aardvark. And still looking for Karuna, apparently. The last tracks were what we found this morning. So I think she's in that block somewhere. Excuse me. So tomorrow is another day. We're on. Oh, lights are on. Oh, lights do look a little bit. But we are now on. dangerous situation I've been in with animals. I try and avoid dangerous situations as much as possible. Luckily I actually haven't had, touch wood, any really bad incidences. One day you might hear Mark's story with the elephant. Occasionally he tells it. I think he did a fireside chat on it once. But myself, I think I've had a couple of heart-stopping moments, and I think that the most memorable one for me was with an elephant. And it's on drive, and I could see the elephants were looking a little bit uneasy, so we stopped quite far away, probably about 80 metres or so from them. And the herd started coming a little bit closer, but there was one particular cow that decided that she needed to express how she felt, and she actually came running towards us. But there was a lot of trees, and I think that actually helped to slow her down. But even to this day, I'm not 100% convinced that it was actually a full-on charge, and it had elements of a warning charge, and it had elements of a warning charge. So I think she was also not too sure what she wanted to do. So she charged at us, and it happened so quickly. It was kind of a heart-stopping moment, but it happened so quickly. It was also one of those that I only sort of really understood what happened after it happened. And something inside just said, don't shout, because sometimes each circumstance is so different. You can't say this is what you'll do in each circumstance. Each circumstance has its own merits, its own situation. And sometimes you need to just shout or bang on the side of the vehicle. That sometimes is enough to stop an animal charging, or put a vehicle into reverse, or rev the engine. But something said to me, just talk to her, and I just basically said, hey lady, what's this? And it's almost as if it broke her from what she was thinking, or it almost broke her concentration. And she stopped dead, and that was about 1.5 meters from us. And it was almost as if, oh yeah, I'm not sure. What was I doing again? It was just very, very odd. I'm still thinking, because we actually found the herd the next day, and they were so relaxed with us. And even that individual, she was very relaxed. So I really do think there was possibly a predator that had upset them in the area, and possibly just taking it out on us. And that's, you've always just got to keep in the back of your mind something can happen. Even with that rhino this afternoon, there's no point trying to sit on top of him. There's no point in trying to chase him. It was nice to see him and give him space, especially as I've heard what sort of temperament he might have. But he didn't show us any aggression. He wasn't wanting our company, that's why he did move off. That's one of the reasons why I didn't follow him. But as I say, he didn't show us any aggression. But we stopped a respectful distance away from him, and we didn't follow him too much. When he came out into the open again, that's when we went round to have a look at him. And I think animals really do pick up on that a lot. They pick up on how you respect them and how you treat them. But occasionally it does go wrong. I saw a bush baby here. There's a little bush baby. I saw its eye glowing. When you do hear of it going wrong, always think in the back of your mind what happened, or what happened to that particular individual in its life. Why is it reacting like that? And I always stand by that something has happened to make the animal act like that. And it could be to an innocent bystander. Maybe they just happen to smell the same as someone that did something to them. They might, I don't know, the car that they're driving might sound the same. We actually had some lions in my old reserve who didn't like white city golfs. I don't know what it was, but whoever was driving one, they got a lot of attention from the lions. They just didn't like them. And I think somebody sped through, because there was a road that people could drive. It was actually an access road, and I think somebody drove through there quite high speed or did something to those lions, and they remembered that car, that sound of the engine. But I even tested it out because I thought my friend was being a bit silly. And I was like, I think, you know, she wasn't really, she was a city girl, and she was in the bush, and she was very new. She had been there a couple of months, and she said, no, these lions are chasing me. And I'm thinking, I know these lions, they don't do that. She said, no, these lions are chasing me. So I said, okay, well, cool, I'll come with you, and we'll go and have a look. And sure enough, these lions, they didn't actually chase her, but they definitely took a big interest in that car. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Hi, Janky. All the way from India this time. Welcome on board. Have I ever seen a peacock? Yes, I have. I haven't seen a wild peacock. I've seen captive peacocks. I used to work with peacocks. One of the tiger's main sources of food in some areas, especially the Bengal tiger, where peacocks are actually from. Those of you who are not sure. So from Asia. And how do animals adapt to the hot and cold? I think much better than I do, that's for sure. But that's one of the things about the extremes in temperature here in Africa. And animals are adapted to the hot as well as the cold, and hence why a lot of them still have fur. Some of them have the adaptations to go and cool themselves off during the heat of the day. And even just the behaviour, you'll see the difference with the lions, for example. During the heat of the day, lions will go and sleep in shade, expose their bellies quite a lot, especially if they've eaten, and they will not move too much. They'll keep that movement to a bare minimum so that they don't create a lot of body heat. But as it starts to cool down, they'll start to move around. Again, the opposite, once it starts getting a little bit colder, you start to see the animals staying in the thicker parts of the bush, where the air is trapped between the trees, keeping it slightly warmer. You may even see them out on the roads that hold a lot of heat. Especially the herd animals, you'll often see them curling up together. The cats, they find a nice sheltered spot, sometimes in the sun, out of the wind. See them putting the noses underneath the tails, just like your pet cat at home, if you've ever seen them do that. Some animals may find shelters underground. The aardvark that I showed you a picture of earlier, the ant bear with the big ears, the big nose, the big claws, they're responsible for building a lot of the holes that many other animals use. They're actually quite important in the area. So all these big termite mounds that have holes in them were probably dug by the aardvark, and then just made bigger by whatever animal takes over, whether it's a warthog or a leopard or a hyena. Snakes will also use them. Pythons may lay eggs inside the aardvark holes. And pythons will actually stay wrapped around their eggs and protect them. Keep them warm as well. Hi, Kathy. Or should I say howdy, Kathy? All the way over there in Texas. I haven't heard from Ross for a while. Ross as well. I hope you're well, Kathy. I'm wondering what the difference is between a game reserve and a game preserve. And I think I've had this question before, and I think it's just depending on where you are in the world. I think preserve is used a lot over in America, whereas reserve is used a lot here. That's what it boiled down to, if I remember rightly. I think both are set up to try and keep nature for itself, to allow animals, birds and reptiles, amphibians, fish to all live as they should in a protected area. I'm just going to take it quite slow around here. Aardvarks are funny little creatures. Their eyes are quite low to the ground. Eyes don't always shine back because the angle of the light. Leopards are popping up. Okay, just an update on the radio there. Unfortunately, just out of where we're able to drive. Apparently there's a leopard up in Buffles Hook, and it sounds like Hendry might have Karula over in Torchwood, which is where we lost the ostrich. They went into Torchwood, but she's still over in Torchwood. Possibly a bush baby. Karula will make her way back towards Cheetah-Cookline and Drakensberg Drive for tomorrow's drive. So unfortunately it doesn't sound like we're going to get a chance to see her this evening. I remember seeing my first aardvark. I was spotlighting for one of the guides. I was shadowing at the time, seeing how other guides take their drives. I first became a guide, so I was doing what I'm doing now, just shining the spotlight. And just caught sight of an eye as we came onto this big open plain. And the guide says, "Oh, wildebeest." Being a young guide, you kind of take the word of the older guide. So I pulled the spotlight back again, and then I looked again and thought that looked really odd. I mean, I know I'm pretty new to this game, but I'm sure it didn't look like a wildebeest. So as we got a little bit closer, I pulled the spotlight back onto the eye again, and sure enough, it turned out to be an aardvark. But it did actually have the eye at the right height as a wildebeest with its head down grazing. I always learned from that, I always double checked. See, now we're at Little Gary, and this is where the story I was telling you a little bit earlier about Mafufenyan Safari, Mafufenyan being Karula's father, our resident female leopard, for those people who may be joining us for the first time. So Karula is the main leopard that we see here, and her two cubs, about 8 months old now. Her father was seen earlier on today, with a warthog kill in the tree, being chased up there by lions. Well, hyenas to begin with. Hyenas got chased off by the lions that came in. Safari, Karula's mother, also came in, got chased up a tree by the lions. And one of the female lions actually climbed the tree to start eating the warthog, so she must be very hungry. And Mafufenyan was actually hitting her on the head at one stage, trying to stop her climbing up the tree. I thought we'd just have a quick check there, and we'll quickly check around here too. I think this is where the brown hyena was seen a couple of years ago now. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. Way over there in Michigan, USA. Wanting to know about lions, tigers and leopards. Do they voluntarily go into the water? Lions, oh, and hyena. Lions tend to not like going into water too much. But I have seen lions go into water chasing after buffalo, for example. So I haven't seen them actually going into the water. Leopards also, I haven't really seen them going into the water. Tigers do. Tigers will go into water and they'll go for a swim. Especially in areas where it's very hot, they're going to cool down. Hyenas also. We've actually seen hyenas So we're just getting a few breakups there. But hyena we have seen going into the water. They'll go into the mud wallows as well, especially during the summertime. It's actually very pretty to see the hyenas caked in mud. But we've seen them. I remember Patrick actually seeing them swimming down at Twin Dams, so they will. For the signal breakup there, not too sure why we're getting those. We're on Shabam Road at the moment. Anybody following us on the map? I'll tell you the cat that is probably known as the aqua cat, and that is all the way over in South America. That's the jaguar. Certain times of the year the forest will flood. They will often swim. We'll see how we go. We're actually on Finland's cut line now. See how we go. So just in case you missed that, the cat that's actually known as the aqua cat is the jaguar. They tend to do a lot of swimming, especially when the jungle, certain times of the year, actually floods. That's a swim from island to island in the jungle. Looks a little bit like a leopard. Also a very small, stocky cat. Hi Deb! Glad you're enjoying this evening. Wanting to know what the hottest temperature here in South Africa can reach. Somebody up ahead. That looks like something up ahead. That looks like a zebra up ahead. So the hottest temperature was probably about 43 I think we reached during the summer, and summer starts usually around November time. So 109.4 Fahrenheit. Remember last year, so we got zebra diurnal animals, so we don't want to put the spotlight on them. We did see some a bit earlier on drive. So if you remember last year, we had a bit of a problem with some of the equipment. It couldn't handle the extreme temperatures that we were having. I remember one particular day that's when the bats also became so lethargic. We actually saw a couple of bats out during the day. They were just so lethargic because of the heat. It really was quite intense. And that was actually when we started to see the hyenas finding mud wallows wherever they could. And just sitting in there. Quite fun. The white-tailed mongoose, also another nocturnal animal. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to see him. Or her. To you too, and I hope you're well this evening. Wanting to know what kind of snakes do we have here? I mentioned the rock python earlier. That's probably the longest snake that we have here, the African rock python. But we also get the deadly black mamba. See them a couple of times on drive. The puff adders, very famous for making that noise. They go, they puff themselves out, make themselves look big and intimidating. Spitting cobras we get here. They can spit the venom very accurately, so you have to be very careful when dealing with spitting cobras. And snouted cobras I think we get here too. Some of the non-venomous, non-dangerous snakes. Though they may give you a headache if they bite you. The spotted bush snake is slightly mildly venomous. And the yellow-bellied, striped sand snake. Yellow-bellied sandstrand. I'm getting myself mixed up now. Side-striped sand snake, it's called. The whip-tailed snakes we also get here. We get lots and lots of snakes, although this time of year you don't really get a chance to see them. You have to look around during the summertime. You may be lucky enough, if you're quick enough, maybe a snake that's out of his hole and basking in the sun, lying on the rocks and warming up in the sunlight. So they don't go and hibernate, they don't go and sleep during the winter, but they don't tend to move around too much during the winter. It's a bit too cold for them. Maybe someday, especially during the summer, we'll start to see a lot more movement, and what we call the August winds. When the winds pick up in August, that's a signal the snakes are going to start waking up as well. You start to see the snakes moving around. So August is going to be a good time to try and start looking for snakes. I have seen an African rock python here. Oh. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the drive. And Antonia, quickly hello to you. I'm wondering how often we see honey badgers. Unfortunately, not very often. I'm still searching for one for everybody, especially Alan. But I was lucky enough to see 2 on my leave. But maybe someday we'll be able to see them here at Juma Game Reserve. We see the tracks, so they are here. But thank you very much for joining us here on Wild Earth this afternoon. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it too. Thank you for all your questions and all participation in the questions that I've thrown back to you as well, and all your ostrich facts as well. It's been great fun. My name's Tara. Daniel's been on camera. Herman's been back in final control, and you've been watching Wild Earth. Try and join us if you can again soon. Our next live safari is tomorrow morning at 6:30 Central Africa time, where either myself or Mark will be heading out once more and seeing what else we can go and find for you in the African bush. But thanks again, and take care wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.